Are you sure? Check the drawer.
Toothpaste like 2 weeks ago.
Hi Curslings. Today we are talking about some This Mad Mama drama that I missed about one of her kids' teeth. Now, I had pieced this story together from the Mad Mama snark thread on Reddit. So this is going to be somewhat secondhand, as Veronica deleted the TikTok in question, which is both totally in character for her and also not at all suspicious. Fortunately for us, some of that TikTok has been preserved, along with some of the comments, with Reddit dubbing this event as Toothgate. So let's get caught up and see what we missed, shall we? Beginning with the deleted TikTok, which was titled, "Tiny Tooth Growing Out of the Side of My 10-Year-Old's Gums," which was posted by Earth BND Misfit.
It literally looks like a teeny tiny tooth is growing out of your gums. That's what it looks like.
Now, my reaction to this initially was indifference, as I had had a second row of teeth come in when I was around M's age. More than once, in fact. So I just assumed it was one of those situations. You know, shark teeth. Until I read the caption. By the way, shout out to Squid for preserving that, where Veronica explains apparently he, being her 10-year-old son M, hasn't brushed his teeth in weeks because this thing has been hurting him. I'm sorry, what? He's been in pain from that for weeks, and you didn't notice or know about it for also, quote, weeks? What the heck? And I wasn't the only one who was horrified by that little revelation. There were a lot of comments on Reddit about how much pain and discomfort that boy must have been in if he wouldn't even brush his teeth. And in my mind, if he's not brushing his teeth because it hurts too much, chances are he's also struggling to eat because it hurts too much. Just, my heart breaks for him. Veronica will continue. I asked why he just told me about it, and he said it's hurting a lot more. This part definitely comes across as blame shifting to me, because I'd want my kid to tell me the minute something feels off and not delay telling me until it's something he can't ignore anymore or is preventing him from brushing his friggin' teeth. But that's just me. Which in turn begs the bigger question, why didn't M feel comfortable mentioning any level of tooth pain to his mother as soon as it started? Why did this take, quote, weeks? Because I don't think it's acceptable to pass the blame onto the child and say, well, he didn't tell me, so what can you do? You should know. You should be checking in more with your children, especially your children under the age of 12. Maybe that's harsh, but you'll see why soon enough, because it gets worse. Of course it does. This is Veronica we're talking about. It wiggles when I touch it. He said it was there when he had his last dental appointment, but smaller, so he didn't think to mention it, and the dentist didn't even see it. I find this hard to believe. I find it hard to believe that a dentist didn't notice a growth, even a small one, protruding from the child's gums, unless it hadn't emerged yet. But even then, this feels like more deflection. This is Veronica saying, how could I know about it if even the dentist didn't clock it? You see what I'm saying? And maybe that's true. Maybe at the time it wasn't noticeable. Maybe it was one of those things that her kiddo was able to ignore and just didn't get around to mentioning. But that doesn't change the fact that it became noticeable and you still didn't know about it. The caption ends with Veronica asking her 500,000 TikTok subscribers, should I be taking him to urgent care or making another dentist appointment? He's afraid to brush his teeth and it takes 8 months to see a dentist. Obviously you take him to whoever can see him the soonest? Are we really pushing almost 40 with a dougherty dozen children and we don't know what to do when it comes to dental care? You make an appointment with whoever is available. Point blank, period. This isn't rocket appliances.
It doesn't take rocket appliances.
And it's this question that, to me anyway, just confirms what her anti-community has been saying for a while now, which is that her kids do not receive regular dental care, if at all. Case in point, toothpaste gate.
You should brush your teeth. Don't you have a toothbrush?
I do.
Okay. but there's no toothpaste. And I don't have toothpaste.
What? This
Are
should
you
be
ready now?
toothpaste. Are you sure? Check the
There was
drawer.
toothpaste like 2 weeks ago.
No, I swear I just saw
I
some in
did.
there.
I checked all the drawers at the same.
Alright, I'll get some more.
Now, it would be an understatement to say that folks were upset, because they were very upset. People were livid. And I imagine her comment section on this TikTok got pretty hostile, and that's why she deleted, to damage control more than anything else. But for the brief period of time that TikTok was still public, this person asked this question. What did the dentist or doctor say about the painful growth in M's mouth? To which Veronica replied, he managed to pull it out. Oh good. That's fucked. Her 10-year-old son pulled a painful, tooth-like growth out of his mouth because he couldn't stand it anymore. Just let that sink in. Let that marinate. And then Veronica, who knew that it was painful, decided, LOL, let's post it to TikTok for clout and money. She goes on. Still no clue what it was, so I'm scheduling him a regular doctor's appointment. Good thing it wasn't bothering him, huh? With the way she's falling over herself to haven't looked at. The fact that she still hadn't called a doctor or the dentist yet also took the commenter by surprise, with them responding, you haven't called yet? Are we really surprised, bestie? Like, are we at this point in the history of Veronica, the collective knowledge of Veronica? Is this surprising? No. Veronica elaborates, saying, it's not hurting him anymore. Because he ripped it out of his head, ma'am. What the? It's out, she continues. And the spot where it was already healed. So how much time has passed since you filmed the growth in his mouth and the spot being able to fully heal? Also, I'm not a doctor, okay? Like, that's not my profession. I don't know how fast gums heal, but I imagine we're talking about at least a week to a month for that to fully heal, during which Veronica is basically admitting that she didn't do anything about it. I'm making an appointment, but it's not urgent now. Ma'am. It was clearly not urgent, period. Because you didn't do anything and he had to pull it out to get relief. Oh my God, just inhale the positivity, exhale the stupidity. So you can see why people were pissed, like mad, big mad, and why her excuse, I just found out about it, isn't good enough, especially when you take into account that Miss Thing, Veronica, has been running around dating men, including driving long distances to see them and spending weekends with them. This left a sour taste in people's mouths. Because to her anti-community, it feels like Veronica's priorities are not with the kids. And this has been a criticism for a while. This isn't a new thing. And while I think it's perfectly okay for Veronica to pursue romance and a life outside of her children, she's still freaking responsible for them. She still has an obligation to their care and well-being.
The bus is outside. Why aren't you at school? Oh my God, go! Go, the bus is outside, go! Go! Your coat, you have to have it. What do you mean why? Get the coat. Run! I love you!
And one of those obligations is making sure they don't have painful growths growing out of their gums that bother them to the point where they have to rip it out. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a judgy Karen. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because in my mind, as soon as Veronica found out about that growth, she should have taken him to see a doctor, a dentist, urgent care, whatever one could take him the soonest. As claiming that it takes 8 months to see a dentist isn't good enough. That's just another way to deflect blame, to deflect responsibility, as far as I'm concerned. There were absolutely other options available to Veronica that could have been tried before the rip it out of your head option was even considered. And yet, that's not what happened here. And what I find the most egregious part of this conversation is the fact that this happened at all. That this was put onto the internet without any self-awareness or humility and was only taken down once Veronica got backlash. Veronica is the kind of person who likes to flex about her social media income.
Fab Five Freddy told me everybody's fly. DJ Spin.
She likes to tell her haters that she's not poor. That her kids are well cared for, yada yada yada. And then consistently does shit like this, which then causes her community to call into question not only her maturity level, but whether she's even fit to be a mother, both financially, mentally, as well as just in general practice. And I hate that for the kids. I hate that this is happening because the backlash from Toothgate was visceral. People were mad, big mad. Mad enough for a call to action to appear on the subreddit about contacting CPS and the Department of Child and Family Services in her state. Yeah. And the thing is, this is not the first time people from her TikTok comments and from her anti-community have reported her. Personally, I don't agree with calling child services on a social media influencer if it can be helped. Because as viewers, we can't fully know what is going on when the cameras are off. A 30-second to 3-minute video doesn't offer a full enough picture of what is actually happening behind the scenes. That doesn't mean that I'm defending Veronica. I'm not. Toothgate, as it shall forever be known, is a disgusting example of why Veronica has the haters that she does and why people feel compelled to reach out to government agencies like Child Protective Services. Because there is a definite perception of neglect that comes across in her content, a perception that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the truth, but just that it gives that feeling. Veronica is messy, both literally and figuratively. And as this person wrote, there has been an increase in false reports because of people responding to what they're seeing on social media, which this person claims are then taken less seriously. So for me, as a regular mom in another country, I feel it's just best to stay the F out of it and let those who are mandated to report do just that. At the same time, I understand why people felt the need to do something, anything. As this person pointed out, things could have gone differently with that growth. It could have become abscessed if it hadn't been removed in time. Not only that, he could have gotten an infection when he removed the growth himself, or the spot where it was could have not healed properly. We don't even know if it has healed properly. Bottom line, this was absolutely something that should have been handled by a doctor or a dentist and not left in the hands of a 10-year-old boy. And certainly, Veronica shouldn't have filmed it and posted it to her monetized platform for clicks and views and clout and ass pats. Oh, and for the record, we still don't know if she took him to see someone, because like a week later, she flew down to Florida to see her grandma.
Come on, let's get your bed down.
Again, great priorities, Veronica, just top notch. This is why you have haters. Because people are tired of seeing you deflect personal responsibility while you seemingly neglect your children. Fuck knows I'd be ashamed if my son was in so much pain he pulled a tooth-like growth out of his mouth just to get some relief. Ashamed. A feeling I wish you felt more of, Veronica. For real, for real. But instead, you thought it was content, and I find that just so disgusting. Just, ugh. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm gonna go brush my teeth, and I'm gonna go kiss my baby boy. I want to thank everyone for liking, commenting, and subscribing, with a big heart to my friend Scott for becoming a member. You're rad. And as always, I heart you all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!